I am ecstatic to report that on October the 5th, the United States Supreme Court accepted an important property rights case brought by the Pacific Legal Foundation. The case is titled Koontz versus St. John's River Water Management District. Now, before I get into the facts and issues of the case, I'd like to set the legal background. Back in 1987, the United States Supreme Court issued a decision in another important property rights case brought by Pacific Legal Foundation, Nolan versus California Coastal Commission. Now, the case concerned whether the government could impose arbitrary and extortionate conditions on people's right to build, use, and improve their properties. Pat Nolan and his family own beachfront property in Ventura County, California. They wanted to replace their small bungalow with a single-family home. Now, the state agency responsible for issuing the necessary permit, the California Coastal Commission, approved the Nolans' application, but on a strange condition. It demanded that the Nolans give up to the state a public access easement. In other words, allowing the public to come onto their private backyard. Now, of course, the Nolans' new home had no impact on existing public access in a way that might justify this condition as mitigation. But it didn't matter. The Coastal Commission wanted this public access easement, and it didn't want to have to pay for it. The Nolans rejected the condition and sued the California Coastal Commission, asking the court to strike down the condition as an uncompensated taking of private property under the Constitution. The case made it all the way up to the United States Supreme Court, and the court struck down the condition. But what's important is the test that the Supreme Court set out in Nolan, whose purpose is to protect property owners across America against extortionate demands on permits. The Supreme Court held that government can impose only those conditions on permits that bear some relationship, an essential nexus, to the impact of the proposed project. In the case of Nolan, the Nolans' new home had no impact on existing public access, so there was no reason constitutionally for the Commission to require a public access easement. Indeed, the Supreme Court characterized what the Coastal Commission was doing as an out-and-out plan of extortion. Now, in a 1994 follow-up to the Nolan case, the United States Supreme Court decided Dolan versus City of Tigard, which considers how close a connection has to be between a permit condition and the impact of a proposed project. In Dolan, a property owner wanted to expand her store. The city gave her an approved permit on the condition that she dedicate land for traffic improvements and flood control. The property owner refused to submit to the conditions and sued. And the Supreme Court held that permit conditions must be roughly proportional to the impact of a proposed project. Now, over the years, lower courts, prodded on by voracious land use agencies, have narrowly applied Nolan and Dolan to circumstances that mirror exactly the facts of those cases. For example, we know that Nolan and Dolan apply to permit approvals that contain extortionate conditions. But how about permit denials that are the result of a property owner's refusal to commit to certain conditions? We also know that Nolan and Dolan apply to demands for interests in real property. But how about demands for other kinds of property, like money or labor? These are the key questions that are addressed in our new case, Koontz. The Koontz family owned 14.2 acres of vacant land in Orange County, Florida. They sought to commercially develop 3.7 acres of that land. Now, 3.4 acres of the proposed development site were deemed to have wetlands. And so the family applied to the State Water Management District for a permit to dredge and fill those wetlands. But the government refused to issue any permit unless the family first agreed to do two things. Number one, dedicate the remaining part of their land, 11 acres or 80% of the total, to conservation. And number two, perform off-site improvements on government-owned land miles away from the property. Now, the family didn't have a problem with the first one and agreed to dedicate the remaining portion of their property, 11 acres, to conservation, but they did have a problem with the second. The government had failed to establish any connection or rough proportionality between that condition and the impact of their project, and so they sued. And the Florida trial court held that the condition to perform off-site improvements on government-owned land miles away violated Nolan and Dolan. It was an extortionate condition. The Court of Appeal of Florida agreed and affirmed that decision, but the Florida Supreme Court reversed on two grounds. Number one, The Florida Supreme Court held that Nolan and Dolan don't apply to conditions whose rejection results in a permit denial, like in the case of the Coons family. Number two, the Florida Supreme Court held that Nolan and Dolan don't apply to exactions of money or labor. They only apply to demands for interest in real property. Of course, we disagree. We believe the Constitution protects against all extortionate conditions, whether they come before or with a permit approval, and whether they apply to a demand for an interest in real property or for a demand for your money or labor. And the Supreme Court now has the opportunity to weigh in on this important debate, a debate that will affect every property owner in America. For more information on this case, please go to pacificlegal.org.